John Ben Shepperd defined the word citizen, according to the Dallas Morning News. Responsible citizenship was the cornerstone of his thinking. He often said that every citizen must leave his community and state a better place than he found it. No one worked harder to uphold this ideal than John Ben Shepperd himself. General Shepperd cast a long shadow of influence, first as an elected official during the 1950s and later as a private citizen actively involved in public leadership. When he died March the 8th, 1990, the adjournment of the state legislature attested to his stature. He was friends with presidents and a close advisor to fellow Texan Lyndon Johnson. He heeded the call from both Democratic and Republican governors. He served on numerous state and national boards and commissions by appointment of 4 presidents and 7 governors. Not just a friend to the mighty, he was a lifelong advocate of providing opportunities for young leadership.
But we will be establishing a foundation honoring John Ben Shepperd. It will be called the Private Enterprise Forum. Its purpose will be to train young men in the corporate sector, not necessarily just JCs or JC women, but anyone who wishes to have leadership training. And also we will be reaching down into the schools and training the children in the grade schools on up about the private enterprise system.
The John Ben Shepperd Public Leadership Forum is a direct result of his concern. Whether or not you knew him personally, each of you can call John Ben Shepperd your friend. He was a great man. Learn from his example, and a little of that greatness will rub off on you. John Ben Shepperd was born in 1915 to a pioneer East Texas family. He grew up in Gladewater, where his leadership and integrity were evident even when he was a young boy. His childhood friends recall that he organized the town's first Boy Scout troop and lived its ideals. John Ben graduated from high school at Texas Military College in Terrell. He attended the University of Texas and by 1941 had earned both his BA and law degrees there. At age 17, he organized Gladewater's Junior Chamber of Commerce chapter. This began a lifelong love of the JCs. After college, John Ben was elected president of the Texas JCs. He visited all corners of the state by hitchhiking. He refused to let wartime gasoline rationing clip his wings. Because of his dynamic leadership, the Texas JCs sold more bonds and gathered more scrap for the war effort than any other organization in the state. John Ben's legal and JC's career was interrupted by 3 years in the Army, but he came back with renewed vigor. In 1948, he was elected president of the United States JCs. His contacts and travels as national president set the tone for his later political career. He became a noted orator, advocate of democracy, and spokesman for freedom of opportunity under the American system. He traveled over 250,000 miles and appeared before more than 250,000 people in only one short year. In 1949, he was named one of the 10 outstanding young men of America in a group that included future President Gerald Ford. In 1950, he emerged as a public political power in Texas at age 34, when Governor Allen Shivers appointed him Secretary of State. John Ben easily won his first statewide race in 1952 as Texas Attorney General and was reelected in 1954 by the largest majority of any office holder. During his terms, Shepperd moved aggressively to clean up bossism and corruption in Duval County, which had reached its peak of notoriety in 1949 during the missing ballot box senatorial election pitting Congressman Lyndon Johnson against Governor Coke Stevenson. Shepperd's investigation of the Duke of Duval, George Parr, led to 300 indictments against Parr and his political cronies. When Governor Shivers declined to run for a third term, Shepperd was assumed to be the logical heir to the state's highest office. But Shepperd voluntarily left public office in January of 1957 and moved his family to Odessa, where he entered private practice and corporate law for El Paso Products. Former House Speaker and Lieutenant Governor Ben Barnes described Shepperd as a Renaissance man and his varied public service career certainly fits that description. His business associations included petroleum, insurance, public relations, banking, and petrochemicals. Congressman Jake Pickle, close friend of Shepperd since they were both students at the University of Texas, said, "While others were talking, he got things done." Shepperd's record of achievement is self-evident. Despite a busy professional life, he chaired thousands of volunteer committees. As chairman of the Texas Historical Commission in 1963, he organized the official state highway historical marking program and wrote legislation creating Texas' 254 county historical commissions. The next time you pass a highway marker, stop a moment to read it. You'll be sharing part of John Ben Shepperd's legacy. He also wrote the creating legislation and served as first chairman of the Texas Arts Commission in 1966. He was instrumental in founding the grassroots lobby group, the Texas Arts Alliance, for which Teeman Dipple presented him with the Telephone's Long Reach Award. Shepperd was appointed to the Texas State Archives and Library Commission by both Governors Clements and White. He began in 1979 and served 11 years. Shepperd was a strong advocate of education. Long before it became a reality, Shepperd was seeking legislation to create a university in West Texas. In 1973, the University of Texas of the Permian Basin opened with Shepperd as one of its most ardent supporters. He was named Texan of the Year by the Texas Chambers of Commerce and Legislative Council in 1984. He is one of few individuals honored by both the West Texas Chamber, where he made his career, and the East Texas Chamber, where his roots were deep. Shepperd was known for his sense of humor and his patriot's heart. Not only did he organize an award-winning bicentennial celebration for Odessa in 1976, it was far from stuffy. The city of Odessa named a street in his honor last October on his 74th birthday. He was an avid family man who appreciated his parents. He cherished his wife of 51 years, Mamie Strieber, whose partnership sustained him through law school, political life, and a successful professional career. He was proud of his 4 children and 9 grandchildren and nourished their friendship. John Ben Shepperd lived a positive, exciting life because that's the way he approached every day. He was a modest man who often stated that he was friend and family made.
My modest accomplishments have been made possible by the hands and, yes, on the shoulders and hearts of business associates, friends, of political co-workers, and the people of Odessa and Texas. You've challenged me far beyond what I thought were my limits, tolerated my mistakes far beyond what I had any right to expect, and given me chances to serve far beyond my capacity, and certainly rewarded me far beyond my merits and ability. I am truly friend-made.
He was a relentless organizer, always demanding, sometimes intimidating. He believed in individual initiative and the responsibility of each person to preserve the American and Texas quality of life.
Because to be born a free Texan is an accident. To live a free Texan is a responsibility. But to die a free Texan is an obligation.
John Ben Shepperd has a profound effect on the lives of all Texans. Few have given so much, so freely, to build a better Texas.
It's great happiness for me to get to be here on the day when all of you are speaking of the contributions of John Ben to his community and indeed to the state and the country. Thank you.
I wish I could say all that I would like to about John Ben Shepperd, about what his friendship has meant to me personally, and what his service has meant to Texas and the nation. One thing I always found about John Ben, and I know you found out too, he was always at home and ready to do whatever job you wanted him to help with.
So I will say that my dream and only ambition is that my legacy be positive and constructive, and that you have enjoyed working with me just one iota as much as I've enjoyed working with you.